Okay, today we're going to do 8.4, writing rules for linear functions. Functions is just another way also of saying it's the same thing as writing an equation. Okay, so function notation, right here, function notation, writing a function, you can use function notation. So f of x instead of y. It is read f of x. You'll use this more in Algebra 1. In Algebra 1, Algebra 2. We're just kind of introducing it. So a function rule is an equation that describes a function. So basically, y equals 3x plus 7 is what we're used to seeing, and now we're going to write it, we might write it like this. Either way is fine. It's just another way to write it. So when they say write a function, you can just say, okay, that's the same as writing an equation. Okay? So in this section, we will learn how to write equation/function rules from words, tables, and graphs. And we're going to do an example of each. So basically, we're coming up with the equation. Instead of graphing from the equation, we're coming up with it. Okay, so number one, Paulo works at a local store. Each week, he earns $300 salary plus a 3% commission on his sales. Write a function rule that relates total earnings to sales. Okay, so what this means is your total earnings, okay, relates total earnings to sales. So total earnings, parentheses, sales, that's your f of x. You don't necessarily have to do that on these. I'm not going to count off. Okay, if you wanted just to write y equals is fine. Okay, so your it's $300 plus 3%, which is 0.03s, because that's your sales, and that's an s, not a 5. Because that's your sales, okay? If you had written it f of x, you could have done that as well, and it would have been 300 plus 0.03x. Or I would even take y equals 300 plus 0.03x. And really, if you want to write it in y equals mx plus b form, you just need to rewrite it like this with that x first. Okay? I will take any of these. When it says write a function rule, it really means this, f of x or t of s. Okay? Find Paulo's earnings for 1 week if he sells $2,500. So what that means is f, so instead of x, you would have 2,500, 300 plus 0.03 times 2,500. Okay, so I haven't done this yet, so 0.03 times 2,500. So this is 75 plus 300. So $375 is what he earned if he sold $2,500 worth of stuff. Okay, whatever he's selling. His commission and his salary together would be $375. So that's one way to do it from words. Okay, tables. Okay, here's the key for the tables, and I wrote it up here. Remember, all you need for an equation is slope and y-intercept, okay, because we want it to look like this, y equals mx plus b, okay? Write a rule for each linear function. Remember, y equals mx plus b, okay? So first we have to come up with the slope, okay? There's a few different ways to do that on this. These are just points. This is like having the point -6, -11, and -4, negatives. It's just a different way to write the points, okay? So you can find slope by just picking 2 points and doing your y over x, or you can look at the chart and find the pattern, okay? So from -11, I don't know why it does that. -11 to 7 is going to be, well, let me erase this real quick. Whoop. Let me erase this out of the way. So -11 to 7, there we go, is you're actually adding 4, right? And then from -7 to -3, you're adding 4, and from -3 to 1, you're adding 4. And on this side, you're going from -6 to -4, so you're adding 2, adding 2, adding 2. So this is your change in y over your change in x. So it would be, your slope would be 4 over 2, which is 2. All right, so right away we know that y equals 2x. We just have to come up with our b. Okay, so we could plug points in if we wanted, but if we look at this, remember, what is y-intercept? That's just where the line crosses the y-axis, right? So it like crosses right here at 1. Well, so it crosses at 0, 1, because that is this point, 0, 1. So your y-intercept is going to be when your x is 0. So let me write that down so you guys can remember. Let me write with this. Y-intercept is when x is 0. All right? All the ones we'll have this year will have the 0 in there, so you don't really have to you don't have to do it if the 0 isn't there with the x. So let's look over here. So again, let's come up with our slope. -2 to 0, add 2. And this could be subtract 2 on your assignment. I should have done one that was, minus. +1, +1, +1. So it's 2 over 1, or just 2, for your slope. And then where your x is 0, my y is 0, so just be +0, or just y equals 2x. Okay, and you're done there. So there's our equation. Okay. Last one. So now, this is the most common thing you'll have to do, is now you're given a graph and you have to come up with your equation. Well, you only need two things, remember? You only need your slope and your y-intercept. Okay? So right away, we know our y-intercept on this one. We're not sure what our slope is yet, but we know right away it's -1. So it's going to be -1. So if it crosses here and it crosses here, oh, I guess it crossed there too. There we go. I actually drew this one pretty good. Okay, so we know it's going to be positive slope because it's going puff, puff, positive. We go up 1 and to the right 2. So +1, +2. All right, up 1 over 2. Come over here, we actually have two graphs here. Let's do the first one. So we know this first one's going to be y equals 1, 2, 3, something x plus 4. Okay, and then we know our slope is going to be negative because it's nice, negative. We go from here to here, here. So down 1 to the right 2. So this one's just the opposite of what we just did there. -1/2, or -1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Okay, and then we have this down here. Now, what is this one going to be? Okay, it crosses the y-axis. So we know it's going to be y equals -4 because it crosses the y-axis. Let's put one in right here. Let's do this one. Sorry, I don't have a straight line there. This crosses through the x-axis, so it would be x equals -3. Okay? So you just have to have your slope and your y-intercept. That's it. I think that's all the examples. I have a little one. You can pause this one and read it.